now like to welcome you to tonight's Meet the Candidate Forum. I think that you'll find it to be a very interesting meeting, and the League of Women Voters is proud to serve our community with this important event. As you may or may not know, the League of Women Voters has never been partisan. We have never supported a particular political candidate, or have we supported a political party. I'm proud to say that I am the president of the League of Women Voters of Huntington. I'm Colette Canute. For those of you who have called the League of Women Voters telephone number, I am the lovely voice that says hello. I can tell you is that you have an opportunity to ask the candidates who will be present tonight questions that are important to you. Please write your question on the index card that was provided. And once you have written your answer, your question, I don't think you've written your answer yet. Please hand it to one of the league members that you see around the room. We're the people with the buttons. Your question will be taken to the vetting table where it will be reviewed. It will be reviewed so that we're not asking the same question over and over again. And we want to make sure that the question can be answered by both candidates present. As always, we ask you to refrain from recording. And by that I mean audio recording as well as video recording. You'll note that we have this gentleman here who is manning our camera. This is a league authorized videographer. This forum will be posted on the league's YouTube channel. And the way to find that is just Google League of Women Voters of Huntington, YouTube. And you'll be taken to the channel that has all of our videos. This particular forum may or may not also be on Cablevision, as the league has its own public access slot. I will notify people on our Facebook about how to access the video. But you are not to video. You are not to record. I am asking you now to turn your cell phone off. Why am I doing that? Because we all want to hear the candidates. We all want to learn what their positions are. So with that in mind, I'd first like to thank and welcome the candidates who are present. I wish all of them good luck. We will be talking to the receiver of taxes candidates first, and then we're going to move on to the town board candidates. I would also like to thank our co-sponsor, the Huntington Township Chamber of Commerce, who have been a long-time partner with us on our local forums. And I'd like to introduce to you Brian Udowicz, the chair of the Huntington Township Chamber of Commerce. Brian?
I think, first of all, let's give the League of Women Voters a big hand for the job they do. I'm joined here tonight with my colleague, former chair Bob Bontempi, is the Huntington Chamber as well. And the Huntington, let's give Bob a hand too. We're really excited for this event. We always enjoyed partnering with the League of Women Voters on the candidate forums. Once again, we have some excellent candidates who are all qualified for the positions they're running for, and we wish them all luck. I think now we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Now, before I introduce our more than able forum moderator, Lisa Scott, president of the League of Women Voters, Suffolk County ILO, I want to remind you that we will be having our last Meet the Candidates Forum at Five Towns College this Wednesday, October the 24th, from 7 to 9. There you'll get an opportunity to hear from the candidates running for New York State Senate and Assembly, those candidates that are running in our area. Five Towns College can be found in Dix Hills at 301 North Service Road, and I greatly encourage you to come because the students there have been very involved in making it a special Meet the Candidates night. So with that, let me introduce Lisa Scott.
Thank you, Colette. And just because Halloween's right around the corner, I have emerged. And I'll go away again after Halloween. And I'll come back next year when the election season is upon us. But, thank you. Yeah, no costumes though. So the rules for the debate were organized by Diane Slavin and her committee, who are voter service for the Huntington League. And both segments of the debate tonight have the same rules, which is the candidates poll lots, and one of them will be giving the opening statement first. I believe, Jillian, that'll be you. And then at the end, Ms. Smitelli, you will go last, right? Okay. The opening statements will be 1 minute. During the debate, we have some prepared questions, and there are some from the audience. Each person will answer each question, but we flip-flop who goes first. They also have, if you want a demo, a red card. If there is, they're synchronized. But the red card is to give someone a rebuttal. They'll have 30 seconds. If they went first and they gave their answer, the other person then gave their answer, and that first one either wants to add something or disagrees and wants to clarify a point. And Diane will be doing the timing on all of this. And then the closing statements will be 1 minute also. And so, welcome to both of you. And Ms. Guthman, do your 1 minute opening statement, please?
Thank you. My name is Jillian Guthman. I am the current receiver of taxes for the town of Huntington. I'm an attorney of over 23 years, and I stand before you totally excited about being your receiver of taxes. I am excited about everything from keeping the line short to increasing efficiency in the office, increasing the way that we are operating, bringing the operation to a higher level, increasing the information that is disseminated to our residents. I am tremendously excited about bringing my 25 years of experience in public administration and service to this office. We're on the front lines. I'm sharing information with residents with regard to services that are available to them and resources, and making sure that what the town offers, that people are availing themselves of exemptions, the STAR program and so forth. I'm committed to this town and committed to serving each of you. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. That would not be good. Okay, ready? Yes, good evening. My name is Janet Smitelli, and I'm here as a candidate to be your next receiver of taxes. I'm very excited about this. I am very prepared. I'm very experienced. I am an attorney of 30 years handling all aspects of civil litigation. I've worked having to be fiscally responsible for a long time. I'm a wife, mom, owned my own business. I've been a managing partner, and I've been a managing attorney. I also bring to this table a lot of community service. I'm a lifelong Long Islander, and I care very much about this community. I've been involved in the Boy Scouts of America for 18 years as a leader. I've been involved in my religious institution and have been a construction manager for large renovation projects there. I really am someone that can bring something new to the table. I am excited about bringing this department into the 21st century, and about doing and exploring a lot of modernization and revamping. I thank you very much, and please listen to us. Thank you.
Okay, and since we've now applauded the candidates, we will sit stone-faced for the next set of questions, and then at the end, during their closing, we'll applaud again. And I would suggest probably in terms of time, better to stay seated now.
Okay.
If you care to stand again for the closing statement.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Ms. Smitelli, you would get the first question.
Okay.
This is a little awkward. And the first, and you'll both get the same question. First question is, what do you see as the most important qualifications that are needed for the receiver of taxes? Why and where in your bio do they match up?
Okay, this is something I'm not used to, thank you. Well, the most important thing is we service the public. This is an elected position, and we are servicing you. We're going to come to you every election period and say, hey, how did I do? So, serving the public is most important. I've actually won client counseling competitions. I've been very involved in servicing the public my whole life, and this is something that I know that I can excel at. So, serving the public, making them happy, increasing efficiency.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guthman, same one?
The primary function is as an administrator, and my job experience that I've had has been diverse. But I have been a leader in government for close to 15 years. I've supervised a department of approximately 50 people, maximizing output, making sure that without spending more, we have a bigger yield. So I'm acutely prepared for this job to continue in this role. I can save money, I'm efficient and a frugal manager, more with less, committed to excellence.
Thank you. Ms. Guthman, don't look over me. It's your turn now. One of the questions is, I'll read the question and then I'll kind of add to it. What do you see as the role of the receiver of taxes? But I'm going to ask you to answer it in two ways. What is the perception of the role of receiver of taxes? And what do you want to explain to people is also one that's really important?
Well, everyone feels that taxes are too high, and I must agree. So sometimes there's that association that is made, but the role is not a policy-making one. It's one wherein we're performing an administrative function. So while the perception may be related to the money, the actual function relates to the administrative role. And my expertise in executing those tasks is directly correlated to my success in that regard.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Smitelli, your take on it?
Well, just as the title denotes, I'm the receiver of taxes. So the receiver of taxes receives our taxes. However, it's not something that happens over only twice a year or once a year. It's something that's ongoing. There's a staff of permanent and there's a staff of seasonal. There's over $1 billion being collected. There's many places where it goes. There's many forms that's being collected. So the public perception is that it's only a job that is really a job for 2 days out of the year, and that's clearly not the case. There's also a lot of different problems and scenarios that come up. So you have to be very involved on the phone and dealing with people and their problems. So it is a lot more than the title denotes. So that's, those are the two parts of that question.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Smitelli, a very pragmatic question. What happens if my check gets lost in the mail?
Well, what happens is that you could be a delinquent. So what they do say is to not wait till the last moment to mail your check. What you want to do is you want to either come in and make sure that you get a receipt that we have collected it, and then if there is any problem with the check, at least you have that you have received, that the office or department has received it. If you have just mailed it regular mail with no checking, in other words, not a certified mail or some type of priority mail where there is checking involved, or you get a receipt from that, then there's a problem.
The process of collection is very regulated. We are directed pursuant to the Suffolk County Tax Act, so there is not a lot of gray in terms of whether or not your payment is timely or not. Proof of payment, which is the postmark on your envelope, would be the proof that you need. So if your payment was lost in the mail during the postal process and it came back to you and you had your envelope that was unopened with these postmarked by the postal office on there, you'd be safe. But other than that, absent that type of independent proof, you would be exposed to a penalty and interest. And that is tremendous. So we always encourage people to pay early, to pay in person, get proof of payment so that they're not in that situation.
Okay. Another question. Credit debit electronic payments currently add a hefty fee to tax payments. Is there a better solution?
The cost of paying electronically by credit cards does incur an expense. If it's in person via the MasterCard, you're going to pay up to $50. If you're paying by credit card electronically, you're going to incur a processing fee by a third party of 2.5%. That's the cost of the operation that's transferred over to the payer. One of the things that I'm exploring is the ability to renegotiate our arrangements so that we can have a lower expense extended to our residents. But that involves an evaluation in terms of the scope of credit cards that we make available for payment.
Ms. Smitelli?
Well, that's one of the first things I would do. That's one of the most important things. Many of us want to pay by credit card and don't want to come down. And I've seen other towns, I've seen them in lower rates, and that's one of the things I will be exploring first.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Smitelli, we saw long lines outside of the receiver of taxes offices at the end of last year because of the SALT deduction going away practically for most people. The receiver of taxes is going to be the first person, probably, other than accountants, to get the questions this year at the end of the year. Should they pay early? What should they do? What would you say if you were in office and people started calling in and seemed very confused about when to pay their property tax?
Well, as a receiver of taxes, you want to get those bills out and you want to maximize that month of December so people can enjoy their holiday times. So you want to get those bills out as soon as possible. A while ago, when we used to have interest rates that were much better, people would hold on to their money at the last minute. I think in today's market, when anything can happen, you're going to want to pay early. You're not going to want to wait till the last day. And as far as lines goes, if you can increase efficiency, you can get those lines down. And that's another thing that would be very important to me.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guthman?
The SALT tax created quite a bit of anxiety and question in December when it hit the office. I was there when that happened in 2017, and yes, we did have tremendous lines, but the lines moved tremendously, and we were bombarded with questions with residents because there was so much question, so much anxiety as to what should be done. One, it is a legal decision whether or not, well, it's an accounting decision rather, whether or not the prepayment of taxes is a benefit or not. I would be very cautious in advising any taxpayer the benefit or detriment of paying in advance because it takes a lot of hard work to earn the money that we pay for taxes, and I'm not going to direct anyone to pay early without them making an independent assessment in consultation with their accountant as to what is best for them financially.
Yes, I also would like to add that it's very important, especially in December and in May times when the lines apparently are getting longer, to have a voice messaging system to to advise you as to deadlines and things like that. And I don't see that now, and that's something I'd like to implement.
30 seconds.
One of the initiatives that I've implemented is increased information on our website. I have also opened up a very strong communication line with the community, meeting at the senior center, meetings at community groups to make sure that critical information is available to our residents. So while a voice answering system is something that we're exploring, it wasn't in place for the last 25 years, but something to consider. The one-on-one direct contact that we have with constituents is of tremendous value and a tremendous comfort to residents. So I wouldn't so quickly give that up. Speaking to a machine is not the same as getting a person.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guthman, as a receiver of many letters from companies offering to make my taxes lower, I understand many property owners have been quite successful in getting their taxes reduced. How is this affecting the town? And should everyone opt to listen to these offers? And this is as an elected official in the town, representing the town, and as a receiver.
So our taxes are a tremendous financial responsibility that we each have as property owners. And the options when we grieve our taxes are something that we should look at very carefully. I think that overassessment is something of real concern. Every individual needs to look at the assessment, which is something I do every day with residents when I initiate those conversations to make sure they're comfortable with what their assessment is, because they're in the best position to make an evaluation as to whether it's the fair market value for which they are being taxed.
Thank you. Ms. Smitelli?
I still have a couple
Oh,
of
sorry.
seconds.
Took a breath.
So disseminating information is a key point of that. And again, I'm making presentations, I'm speaking to people, I've developed literature so that people can make an independent assessment as to whether or not they're overtaxed.
Thank you.
The job of the receiver of taxes is that we don't make policy. My office would be directing people to where those answers can be found. Additionally, we've seen that there are so many different companies out there that can shortchange people, and people are able to do this online as well. But that is not our job. Our job is to direct them where they should get their answers.
Okay, thank you. We have several questions on the same subject, so I'll kind of pull them together. They kind of relate to both what each of you would do to review the processes and controls of the receiver's office, looking at how you're going to save money, how to be less stressful on taxpayers, and otherwise modernizing. So why don't you take about 30 seconds
Is this
to
for me?
think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get it first.
Okay.
But I want to make sure you've got that sort of umbrella of the three aspects of the question.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Well, I'm very excited to begin my exploration. I have many ideas, and I'm ready to begin. First of all, I think that in order to alleviate lines and alleviate stress on that day, we should explore the use of additional parking for the day or the last couple days of paying taxes. This will enable people to find parking in this part of the parking area. Also, again, what we talked about earlier, we have to reduce our convenience fee or processing fees, and that's been done in other towns, and that should be done in this town as well. Additionally, increasing the time in which to get the tax bills to the taxpayers is important to me. In other words, it's increasing efficiency. It's also taking a look with fresh eyes at this tax department and seeing if what's been done for the last 20 years is something that should continue or whether it's not fiscally responsible at this time. There are some things that are being done right now that maybe should not be done that way. And I've got a lot of ideas, and I'll be exploring a lot.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guthman?
First, revising the process. One of the things I think is critical and which I've implemented already is cross-training. We have fabulous employees, many of which are here tonight, who do a superb job in executing their responsibilities. But their responsibilities are very insular. There's no overlap. So I'd like to continue my effort of cross-training so that we never have lapse of service. In terms of expediting the process or modernizing the process, what I am doing and what I've implemented is expanding our remote capture of deposit so that payments are processed in a more expedited fashion, keeping the money coming in and out quickly. Thirdly, in terms of less stressful, unfortunately I can't reduce the tax payment, but counseling people one-on-one as to exemptions, the STAR, Enhanced STAR, making sure people are availing themselves of what's available, I think is critical, as well as providing an alternative drop-off mechanism when people are in person and are not dependent on a receipt.
Thank you. Last question, we've got two on the same subject. Should there be term limits for the Office of Receiver of Taxes? Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think for all components of government, whether it is a policy-making position or not, term limits are very valuable. They provide fresh ideas. They provide a fresh set of eyes looking at a circumstance. Yes, as the receiver of taxes, I wouldn't be making policy. However, as an administrator, I know that there is value in change.
Thank you. Ms. Smitelli?
Well, this is the law right now, and it has been the law since Mr. Guthman introduced it when he became supervisor and when it was passed by the board. So this is the law. With respect, and your question was limited to the receiver of taxes, it will take a little while to learn the job. It'll take a little while to determine where it can be improved. And I myself am in my 50s, so therefore the term limit does not scare me or upset me. That's me. However, I'm not speaking besides the law, and I'm not speaking besides receiver of taxes right now.
Okay, thank you. So you each have 1 minute to give your closing statement, and Ms. Guthman, you'll go first.
I am excited to be in this position. I am a lifelong Huntington resident. I have served the community of Huntington, of Suffolk County, virtually my entire legal career. I have worked in the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office as an Assistant District Attorney, preserving quality of life, working alongside law enforcement. I've served as the Director of Human Services for the town of Huntington, providing services for veterans, seniors, women, people with disabilities. I was the town's EEO officer. I worked as a lead attorney in the village of Hempstead, saving $250,000 per year for that municipality. I'm committed to this town. I'm committed to doing more with less. I'm fiscally prudent. I am fiscally strong. I have a strong work ethic, and I love this town. This position fills my passion to serve the community, and I give it 100%, if not more. Thank you. Please give me the opportunity to continue in this role. I will do more for you every year.
Shorten lines, lower fees, save time, looking at the office brand new, being fiscally responsible. All these are extremely important parts of this job. Yo puedo hablar español casi perfectamente. I can help in that respect as well. Je peux parler français aussi. I can speak some French. Client counseling is very important to me. This job is all about satisfying the public. I believe I'm best able to do that. I want to serve. Please let me do that. I look for your vote on November 6th, and I thank you.